Good evening to everyone. And tonight I would like to introduce you to the feminine. My name is Kristina, and I am a feminine empowerment coach. And contrary to popular belief, the feminine is not a place of weakness. And please excuse my pun, but the feminine is not a place for pussies. For much of the feminine is a place long lost, both within us and our society. And here we are to honor women and our accomplishments, but what about our feminine? If I could offer you anything tonight, it would quite simply be the opportunity to understand the feminine, to be brave and vulnerable enough to see your feminine, to embrace it, to hold it and be in it for what it truly is, your darkness, your deepest truth of who you are at your core. And so I invite you to ask yourself, when was the last time you felt safe enough to honor the darker parts of you? The imperfect parts of you that don't want to serve the agendas of others. The parts of you that make you want to look the other way when you stand in the mirror. When was it safe enough for you to express your deepest truth from your feminine self, the truth of your soul? When was the last time that you said no? No to the things you were conditioned to believe about yourself? And when was the last time that you said yes to what you know is your deepest yearning and most authentic self? 5 years ago, I didn't know my feminine. I was willingly participating in a life conditioned to be mine. I was ashamed of my shame and controlled by my fear, self-judgment, and low self-worth. I was using drugs and alcohol to deal with the stress of my emotionally and mentally unhealthy life. On the outside, it looked like I was living my best life. I had a busy business, 2 beautiful children, and all of the things. But on the inside, I was dying. I was under a cloud of my own victimhood, and I was the most alone I had ever been. But it was in this darkness that I began to get in touch with a very old part of myself that I had not allowed into my life for a long time. And it was my feminine. She was the force that was dormant lying inside of me. So I gave myself permission to be myself because my truest self knew she wasn't going to survive like this anymore. My truest self wasn't going to be able to do what was expected of her anymore. She wasn't going to be able to put her head down and do what needed to be done anymore. In fact, she was going to make a lot of people very uncomfortable. And so I accepted this and I walked away. No one was going to tell me who I was anymore. I took radical responsibility for my own life and my participation in things that were hurting me. I got back in my body, started working on the deep stuff, and I found the goddess. She is not what you think. The feminine is not all light and love. The feminine is your deepest self. She is the moon, the void. She has many phases. She doesn't always shine, but when she does, she takes up the whole sky and she brings light to our darkest nights. My offerings are from my darkness, from my shame, my defeat, my fear. And in this, it gives permission to other women who do not believe in themselves, who cannot find their voice, who are afraid to step into their true feminine because it is too painful and too shameful and too dark to be themselves. But when we begin to see that without this great darkness, there is no light, we are embracing and speaking our truth from our deepest feminine. Finding and speaking your truth may be hard and uncomfortable. It makes you have to look at the things about yourself that you're not proud of. But giving yourself permission to be yourself, to conjure your inner goddess, this will open the doors to the places you've always dreamed of. And so I urge you to be your truth, honor your phases, and shine through your darkest nights. Thank you.